truly a pleasure to have back on the show. Mr. Richard Jeni is with us, folks. Rich,
Nice to have you back. Have a seat.
The new special, Platypus Man. Richard
Right.
Jeni, Platypus Man.
That's
Before you talk about that, I just got to ask you, now this is your third one-hour special, isn't that right?
Yeah.
How do you do it? You have more material than anybody I know.
Well, you have to write during your peak creative time. That's what I do. I read this thing that everybody has a peak creative time of the day, and it turned out that mine is between 5 a.m. and 5:12 a.m. So what I do is I set my alarm for 5 o'clock, and I wake up and I write down the first thing that's in my mind, and as a result, I have a lot of jokes to begin. God, I have to pee. So that and other methods that I've used over the years.
I can see that would give you a little jump start there into the writing.
That's one of the techniques I've sort of perfected.
Now, tell me about the title, Platypus Man. What's the origin of that?
How many people in the audience know what a platypus is? Applaud. Okay.
I happen to know this. Can I show off a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
It may be the only egg-bearing mammal. Is that correct?
Laying or bearing, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, laying would have been... If you wanted to show off laying, would have been better.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't really bear eggs in the sense that he shows up going, here's an egg. He actually has to lay them.
I don't know, have you ever been with one?
Have
you ever been with one on Easter?
No, but there is definitely a difference between laying and bearing.
All right, okay.
If there wasn't, your sex life would include a lot of car parts. Okay, now...
You do the math. We don't have all night.
They got the platypus, but they didn't get that. All right. Well, the platypus is... I'm watching National Geographic one night late, in bed eating popcorn because I lead a full life. And they go, the platypus is tonight's animal. He's the only egg-bearing mammal in the world. And I'm eating popcorn and going, man, this thing is weird. It's screwed up. It's nuts. It's got a tail like a beaver and a beak like a duck, and it swims like a fish, walks like a dog. So I kept watching. I turned it up, right? And they go, the platypus lives by itself. It has very short limbs. It eats late at night and can't even see its food. And I went, wow, this animal's me. I'm Platypus Man. Put me on that show, you know. So he's like a symbol for anybody that's comically screwed up.
Dig.
That's my plan.
That's great.
That's the plan.
Well, now, I see you on cable specials.
Yeah.
I see you on talk shows all the time. You're constantly doing live concerts all around the country. And yet, I see you the most on those commercials.
Oh, yeah.
What is with those commercials?
Oh, I do this Certs commercial. I don't know if anybody know.
Really? These are all people who used to have really bad breath.
Well, look, this is a tough economy, yeah? It's hard. You know, everybody's cutting back. You know, the Catholic Church is actually cutting back now. Did you hear this? They're going to a voicemail confession system. I don't know if you heard about it. It's true. It's 1-800-FESS-UP. You call in. I called the other day. They go, hi, you've reached the Catholic Church voicemail confession system. If you're a bigamist, press 2 now. If you're worshiping Satan, press 666 now. If you've done something you're ashamed of with a farm animal, press BAA now. Please do not masturbate, as this will further delay your call here at the Catholic Church. So, you know, you have to go with the flow. Times are bad.
Save a lot of us good Catholic boys a lot of time.
You're a Catholic boy, right?
Well, I was.
Did you go to church a lot?
I used to go to church. Yeah.
I used to go. My mom used to make me go. I used to go to, we didn't have a good church, you know, like they have like, they have the great names, you know, St. John the Divine, St. Mary we had St. Phil the Reliable. You know, he's not a miracle worker, but he's there. You can depend on St. Phil.
No sense putting any extra pressure on the guy.
Exactly. He was one of your regular guy type saints. St. Phil the Reliable.
He's not out with animals in the woods someplace.
No.
Well, you need him when you need him.
He wasn't making water into wine or nothing. But I used to love church, man. It's like the poor man's rock and roll show.
In a sense,
isn't
that's
it?
True. Yeah.
It's got a big crowd, guy up front, crucifix, smoke's coming out from behind him. He's drinking wine. He's got backup singers.
It's like
I always wanted him to close the mass, you know. I've been Father Murphy. Good night. God bless you. Give it up for the altar boys. Good night.
It's like an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical.
Pretty classic.
Were you a cut up in church? Because I used to always get in trouble as a kid by down in church.
Well, some of the words are just kind of, when you're 9 years old and you're bored, you know, and somebody whips out a word like Hosanna, you know, you're going to go, oh, Hosanna, you know, you can't help it, you know. You're going to... This would drag it out, man. The main job of a priest is to say the word Lord a lot. That's what they say. Only, think you can say it? Try everybody in the crowd. 1, 2, 3. Lord. See, they'll never make it. Because to be a priest, you have to have a certain kind of clipped borderline Kermit the Frog, just caught my privates in a car door. Sort of like, Lord! Yes, you remember? The guy was just standing. Lord! 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 You are holy, 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 holy. And I'd be back in the church going, hey, what are you, Rain Man Father? Come on. Take office in 10 minutes. Pick it up. Lord, let us read. And he's talking about cracking up in church, you know. Let us read. Let us drag this out as long as we can using words that don't exist anywhere in the solar system except the Catholic Church. Let us read from the Epistle of the Apostle. What does that mean? Let us read from the Epistle of the Apostle. Romans 7, Leviticus 3, paragraph 9, section H, 25 or 6 to 4. Chicago 7, St. Louis 2, runners at the corners, bottom of the 8th. He's going for the right-handed reliever, even though he has no on this ballpark. Lord! You are indeed. Well, anyway,
Mr. Tag.
yeah.
A man who won't let a premise just sit there. A man who milks a premise till it's got nothing left to give.
What is that, a premise? Get me another box.
I want to make a quick gear shift here from church to a gig that you did that to me is the most hilarious thing in the universe.
Yes.
You performed at the, was it the American
American Porno
The
Awards.
American Porno Awards.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, I'm blown away, no pun intended, by the fact that they have awards.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
I didn't even know they had standards.
It was an amazing thing to me. Yeah. They get these people together. It was actually called the Adult Video News. They called me up and they said, do you want to do your comedy act in Las Vegas at the Flamingo Hilton? And if you like to laugh, because you're here, you folks, go to the Flamingo Hilton and watch the American Porno Adult Video News. And if you don't laugh, just kill yourself then. Picture this scene, all right? You're in a room with like 2,000 people in tuxedos. At the front is the MC. And he's giving away the Nobel Prize, the guy. You know, he's up there. The nominees, and I quote, for Best Anal-Themed Feature are An American Buttman in London, Backside to the Future, and everybody in the audience is like, oh yes, excellent films, weren't they, John? They were. I was the only guy there. I just said, why do you name these movies at all? They all have the same plot. But this should be the title, Stuff That Never Happens to You. Starring people having more fun than you. Every guy I know that watches the X-rated films, in the middle of the movie, they go, why doesn't this happen to me? Why? Then you get a good look at the guy in the movie and you go, oh, no wonder I'm not in the movie. He's built a little different, if you know what I mean. He has an endowment bigger than some of the cars you own. Whereas you could have sex with a Cheerio without breaking it. Let's be honest. You know, he's a big man.
And if that's not enough, they go in on those close-ups,
Oh,
those
yeah.
zooms. I go, I don't know what I'm watching. It looks like they're foaming the runway. What the hell is that?
Foaming the runway.
That's not a human being. That's machinery of some kind.
It's an amazing thing. But you got to admit, you're never disappointed. You know.
Well, your standards are so low to begin with when you're watching them.
Exactly right.
It's hard to be let down.
You never sit there going, gee, I didn't think it would end that way. It was really good up until that last part. I can't imagine why that happened. Well, it was a fun gig, though.
What's the crowd like at a gig like that?
The crowd.
Are there porno stars out there?
Well, tons of porno. Yeah, mostly porno stars. And I guess that was a weird thing. They said, do you want to do it? And I said, yeah, I'm there. Let's go. I'm into it. So I go there. And then on the way there, all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, you know. Because you're the comedian, you're depending on being kind of the bad boy of the group, right? And then all of a sudden you realize that these people have sex on TV. What are you going to say that's going to shock them? You know, people say, hey, how was the awards? And you go, hey, I was going really good. I was doing well. Then I said the word bitch, and this woman up front was so upset. She put on her panties, grabbed her snake, and walked out of the room. You know, she was well, I'm not going to stand here and listen to this. I'm a lady. I have to sit here and listen to this trash. You know, so it was kind of hard to be the, you know, the irreverent bad guy of that crowd.
Oh man,
it was odd.
That's got to be the oddest gig I've ever heard.
It was up there. Yeah, it was definitely up there. And I do a lot of odd gigs. I'm on the road all the time, so
yeah, well,
you never know where you're going to be. Yeah, I'm everywhere now.
So what's an average day like on the road for you?
Typical
Assuming
day?
you're done with that 12 minutes of writing at 5 in the morning.
You're right. Typical day finds me in bed going, you know, I never noticed it, but Wilma Flintstone doesn't have a bad body. No. The point I'm trying to make is it's not an exciting People think it's exciting. This was my day. This was my day Friday. I was out on the road. I was in Dallas, and I spent the entire day floating in a pool, and a bug came, and I splashed him, and he went away. Right. And then he comes back, and I'm thinking, how stupid is he to come back after I just violently splushed him? And then I'm thinking, how stupid am I to think that a bug keeps track of this kind of thing? But anyway, the point of the story is, he falls in the ocean, he falls in the pool, rather, and he's doing one of those things, you know where like the bug is, he's like alive, but he can't get out? And you're like laying there on your raft going, I'm God. I could save him if I chose, or I could continue to float here quietly. So anyway, what I did was I picked him up. It was really sweet. I cupped him like this, and I put him on his side, and, it was a little mess from the chlorine for a minute, But then he got dried off, and he got his stuff back, and he's, his wings went bzzz, and I said, hey, that's enough of that. Just chill. Just cancel the flight there, pal. He might have a stinger, you never know. So, and that's what I did. That was my day.
Richard Jeni, ladies and gentlemen.